This week I feel like is a little bit slower, a little kind of a chance to catch your breath a little bit. It's been a wild month in college football, but still got good games, still got a lot of games to talk about. So let's just dive right into it.
Yeah, I would say, like I said, a lot of interesting matchups. And the first one, very, very interesting to me. I know you're mad talking about this game for whatever reason, but let me introduce the game. We got UCLA on the road in Bloomington against Indiana. UCLA opening it up as 24.5-point dogs, and the over-under set at 53.5. Steele Chambers, initial thoughts on this one?
Indiana's going to beat their ass. It's Mendoza hasn't showed any sign of slowing down on the offensive side. They're beating teams that they need to beat. You've got their offense going. You got Nico. He just got hurt in that last Maryland game, hurt his knee. So that's going to impact him on the ground. I think Aiden Fisher and that Indiana defense, they're going to be coming after him, applying pressure, knowing that he's hurt. So I think they're going to jump on him fast, and this game is going to be over probably sometime in the third quarter.
Okay. You know what? I'm taking Indiana, and I think they're going to win in a big-time fashion as well. But this is the reason why. Not because they're so much more talented, which I think they might be, but I give UCLA a little bit of respect. They've been playing really well the last couple of weeks. They're on a 3-game win streak. I like what Neuheisel's doing. I like what the offense has got going on. Defense is playing much tougher. So I like this UCLA football team, and I do think you got to take them serious. But when you look at the man, Curt Cignetti, I like looking at the mental side of things. I like looking at press conferences. They interview him in this press conference at the beginning of the week. And Steele, he's like as good as it gets with running the culture. He's like, oh, this UCLA team's an undefeated football team. Like, always try to build they set the stage. These coaches always try to set the stage for their players, and he did a fantastic job setting the tone for the week, talking about UCLA is a good team. We better treat them like a good team. We're playing an undefeated football team, and I think that's why I think Cignetti's got the right mindset. His players are going to have the right mindset. I think they continue to come out hungry, and I love Mendoza. I think he's the Heisman favorite in my eyes right now, maybe him or Ty Simpson, and I think they keep this thing rolling. So we're in agreement there. We got Indiana. Are they covering the 24.5?
Steele. Yeah, they're covering. I feel like Curt Cignetti, he's a guy where his teams, they're not going to get caught lacking in one of these like surprise upset games. They're always going to be coming out, always going to be swinging first. They're always going to be performing.
All right, well, I think UCLA, they've been showing a lot of fight. I think UCLA is going to cover. I think Indiana wins this by 17 points. I think UCLA is going to stick around for a little bit, but Indiana is going to start to put them away in that second half. Over under 53.
Ooh. Give me the over.
Okay. All right. I'm going with the over as well. All right. Moving on. Okay. So the next game we got is Ole Miss on the road at Oklahoma. Oklahoma opening up as 5.5-point favorites, which Steele, I thought that was really interesting.
Very much surprising.
Yes. Very surprising. And the over under set at 53.5. And I'll start this one off. Mm-hmm. So when you look at Ole Miss, you look at Lane Kiffin, they're coming off a heartbreaking loss, but they played really, really well offensively down there in Athens. And they gave Georgia everything they could handle. I think Trinidad Chambliss took another huge step in kind of his big-time development. He's been developing on the lower level, but at this premier kind of college football stage, he's getting better and better and better. And I think this offense continues to roll. And then Oklahoma, their offense looks horrible. Mateer's not 100% healthy. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with this Ole Miss team, and I think they're kind of going to get boat raced at home, unfortunately. I think this is going to be a pretty bad loss for Oklahoma.
Okay, I agree with you. I think Oklahoma is going to win this game. No, my bad. I think Ole Miss is going to win this game. But Oklahoma, their defense hasn't been talked about that much. We covered it a little bit early on in the season, but Venables in this defense, they're basically ranked second in every sort of category, right behind Ohio State. But when you look at their schedule, they played a Texas team. That offense wasn't too good. They got helped by a punt return. They played South Carolina. That's not a very good offense. But this is a chance for that defense to really show themselves against an explosive offense like Ole Miss. I still feel like the Oklahoma offense, they're not going to be able to help them at all. They're not going to be playing complimentary football. Like you said, John Mateer, after that injury and he came back, he just hasn't looked the same. They're not really getting the ground game going too much.
No run game. So
I think it's going to be a stalemate for a while, and then you got things like the battle of field position. You've got Oklahoma probably having a lot of 3-and-outs. once those start to pile on, Ole Miss, sooner or later, they're just going to take control of this entire game. Chambliss, that running game of Ole Miss, they're going to sooner or later take over, and I think that they're going to have a big win in Norman.
I agree. Now, Steele, I do want to bring up one thing. Did you see Coach Kiffin's press conference at the beginning of the week?
I did not. Yeah, I need to get on these press conferences.
You'll get a kick out of this one because do you remember when we played Clemson? You might not because you were still playing offense our freshman year. But they were making such a big deal. Coach Day was making such a big deal about Venables stealing offensive signals. Do you remember this?
No. He brought that up in like a team meeting.
Yeah, he talked about how Venables and their defense steals signals. So in the press conference, they ask Kiffin. Now I kind of forget, but this is around basically what he said. They ask him about Oklahoma's defense. Coach, you're going against a great defense, and he basically said, "Well, they're a great defense because they know everybody's signals."
It's the truth, dude. I remember, dude. We made a big deal of that, especially in what was it, Sugar Bowl?
Yeah.
And during 2020, we made a big deal of that.
Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting, and that I wanted to bring up kind of real quick a kind of side segment with what percent of college teams do you think steal signals?
All of them.
Do you think that
all of them? I think all of them try.
Yeah. All right. Okay. We can move on. That's basically what I wanted everybody to kind of hear that because everybody tries.
Everyone tries to steal signals. Some teams are better than others. Some teams get caught. That's just the nature of it.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. And even if they steal all of Ole Miss's signals, they still got to stop them. So I'm going with the Rebels here. We're in agreement. All right. Over under 53 as well.
Over. Over. Yeah.
I'm gonna go under 53.
I respect that.
I'm gonna go under, and I'm gonna go about. I'm gonna put it right out there though.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna straddle that line.
31-13. 31-14. 31-13.
That's a comfortable under.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You ready?
Yep, ready.
Next game. This might be, other than the one we're going to talk about here soon, this, for playoff implications, is probably the biggest game of the weekend.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about here?
For whenever I was making my playoff bracket, this game was one of like the top 10 I had highlighted.
Yeah, this is a massive game. Everybody has to – if you're a college football fan, you got to watch this one. It's at 12 o'clock. And we got USF on the road against Memphis.
I was thinking of a different game. God damn it. This is still important.
Yes. USF opening up as 4.5 point favorites. Over under set at 59.5. Steele Chambers, initial thoughts.
Damn it. Yeah, I got South Florida in this one. I think you just look at the bulk of their schedule. They played a lot better teams. They played Florida, beat them. They lost to Miami, but at the same time, you're still gaining experience from that game. And then they've got an explosive offense. I know I've got a buddy that played against Memphis. He said that they've got a really complicated, like well-disguised defense over there. But I think the South Florida offense is just going to be too explosive for them. I've got them winning this. I've got them maybe winning out and then winning the American and getting into the playoffs. I'll spoil my 12 pick right there.
Yeah, I mean, I had them in my first USF in my first edition, and I'm going to stick with that. Well, I'll spoil that as well. I really like what Coach Coolish is doing over there, and that culture I think is where it needs to be. And then they got explosive playmakers. They get those guys out of South Florida, and they can play some football.
Oh, dude, they're right in their backyard.
Yeah, they could play some football. So I agree. And Memphis, they're going to have some tough kids, but I got USF on this one. I got them covering. winning by 10 points probably, and then over under at 60 pretty much. That's pretty high, but I'm gonna go with the over. I'm gonna go with the over.
I'm gonna go under there. I don't like 60.
I'm gonna go over. I think like a crazy 40-28 or something like that. So I got the over on that one.
All right, I'll go under. Yeah, but yeah. Ghoulish, I think he's going to be getting some calls as far as all these jobs opening up.
Yeah, University of Florida will be one to keep an eye on.
I don't know if he's getting that one. That's a fucking premier job right there.
Premier job, but I would entertain it.
Maybe he gets it.
Okay, moving on.
Missouri, this is the game I thought you were talking about right here.
against Vandy. Vandy opening up as 2.5-point favorites. What do you got for this one?
This was the hardest game for me to pick. I think they're both not even fringe. I think they're both like back four college football playoff teams. And you look at the matchups, you see Vanderbilt, they've got a really complicated run game. You've got Pavia that can make plays outside of the pocket, use his legs. But this Missouri defense, they're so fast, they're violent, they're athletic. They've got great DN, so likely they'll be able to set edges. So it's hard to kind of decide who I want, but I'm going to lean on Pavia. He proved to us last week that he can go out there and he can make plays and will his team to a win. And I think they'll be able to do that because, I mean, Missouri's defense, they're good, but I think they're going to figure out ways to score. And then Missouri's offense, they've been struggling. Perbula, this is kind of a make-it-break-it game for him. He's got to start performing more. Him and Ahmad Hardy, they've been really quiet on the ground ever since that Alabama game. So unless this Missouri team can kind of pull it together because they're kind of losing steam on the offensive side of the ball, I've got Vanderbilt winning this one. College game day is going there. Nashville's going to be absolutely bumping. I think they're just going to ride that wave of just momentum that they've got going on right now and get it done.
Okay, Steele. I've been hating on Vanderbilt. I've been hating on Pavia all year long until last week. We picked them against LSU, and I gave Pavia all the respect, all the credit. He balled out in that game, put the team on his back, played tough. So he's earned my respect. Mm-hmm. I like that run scheme. You hit on it last week. I like what they do. They mix up a lot of stuff. Good scheme. Mm-hmm. But Missouri is one of my favorite teams to watch this season because they play the game the right way. They play the game to knock people's heads off. And after I saw, this is looking into the future here. Actually, I'm going to save this. But after what I've been seeing and after what I saw in that Auburn overtime coin flip, you get a guy. I got to go back and look at his name. He's talking trash. I've never seen somebody talk that much trash in an overtime coin toss. Says this thing's over. It's time for this thing to be done. Goes out there, gets a TFL and a sack. This Missouri team has got a bunch of dogs. Eli Drinkowitz, a dog. I love this Missouri football team, and I think they punked Pavia. I think they sent him right back to wherever he came from. Give me Missouri. Give me Missouri.
You think they're going to punk him, huh?
Not only they're going to send him back to wherever he came from. Missouri's going to get in, hit him early, hit him often. They're going to be talking all types of trash. Missouri's going to get in his head. I'm telling you.
All right. No, I respect where you're coming from, but no, I'm gonna respectfully disagree. Anchor's up.
Yeah. And they're coming off a big time win in LSU. Pavia, he seems like one of those guys. He rides a roller coaster, man. He gets high, he gets low.
I don't know, dude. I feel like they're grounded. They're creating a winning culture over there. They're a grounded team.
They're not a winning culture. They can win some games.
They're creating they are molding themselves into a winning culture right now. I'm not saying they are. It's still fucking Vanderbilt. They've been losers for decades. But now they're changing.
It's in that program's DNA to be losers, Steele. It's in that program DNA.
Okay, fine. All right.
Gary's going to send them right back to where they came from.
You're ready to clip it.
All right, here we go. Moving on. And this is a fun one for multiple reasons. Let me introduce it real quick. What the?
Same game, huh?
Oh, here we go. We got Texas A&M on the road, night game, 7:30 at LSU. Texas A&M opening up as 2.5-point favorites. Thought was really, really interesting. Total over-under set at 48.5. Steele Chambers, I know we're introducing a new segment today.
Okay.
And it's the game plan of the week with Steele Chambers. Steele Chambers, tell us what your game plan is for whatever team.
I'm going to start this off. If I am the LSU defensive coordinator, this is how I am stopping this Texas A&M offense. First, I am playing a shit ton of man-to-man, and I'm going to cancel out that RPO. You've got Delane, probably a first-rounder, and then a bunch of good DBs. Trust those guys on the outside to have really good games against Craver and Conception. Since I'm playing man-to-man, I'm going to be dropping my safety down over that tight end. I want him running the alley. I want him being the free hitter. I want him helping out in the run game. 2, I'm going to utilize Harold Perkins. He was a freshman All-American his first year. He hasn't been playing the same. I'm going to let him do what he does, and that's rush the passer, spy. I want him to completely shut down Marcel Reed and his entire scrambling ability. I think if you do that, run a lot of man, and then you sprinkle in, marry it up with a little bit of quarters and cover 2, I think that's going to be really good for them. In quarters, your corners, they're basically going to be man, and then your safeties, they're going to be really aggressive in the run game. Texas A&M, great in the run game. And then they're going to try to run some little shallow crossers. They love that concept. And then they're going to do some play action deep shots. So to combat that, you just bail out those safeties, play cover 2. Now you're blanking in the deep half of the field, and then you've got all your underneath guys to help out with these crossers. Very long-winded. I'm not a DC, but I think if they can,
man, you sure sound like one, man. I'm gonna send this to some coaches. They gotta hire my boy.
I think if you can accomplish something like this, I think you could shut down this offense.
Yeah,
I've watched I think like 4 games or so last night, just trying to get an idea of what they do, and I think those are their strong points: the run game, the RPO off the run game, play action, shallow crossers. You eliminate that, you win this game.
Okay, well,
there you go.
So, the question is, are they going to do that, and are they going to eliminate that offense, and are they going to win? What do you think? Is LSU winning this?
I have them winning this. Do you know, is Whit Weeks playing?
I'm not sure. Let me take it. Hold on, bear with me. Whit Weeks.
I think this game is going to be predicated on the guys on the outside, because I would leave them man to man, and I need them to have really good games this week.
He's doubtful. All right. Let me tell you what.
He's got his brother playing. They're good.
Let me tell you what I think about this one.
Give it to me.
So, I've been on the Blake Baker train since he's been at LSU. We talked about this. And last year, this was Marcel Reed's breakout game. It was a night game at Texas A&M. You remember that? He came into the game and just went crazy. They couldn't stop him. They have that meme of Coach Kelly looking at Blake Baker like they are clueless. They didn't know how to stop him.
He was an unknown at the time.
Yeah, and 100%. They're like, who is this guy? He went crazy. And I can tell you this. I like your game plan. When we played against Texas A&M in the bowl game, now obviously a very different team. They had guys sitting out, whatever. We played a lot of man-to-man, Steele.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
And if the guy you have responsible for the quarterback and the D lineman if the guy you have responsible for the quarterback doesn't do his job well, and the D line gets out of their pass rush lanes, Marcel Reed is going to kill you in drop back pass. He is very good at seeing those lanes open up quickly, and once he decides to go, he's shot out of a cannon. With that being said, one of my favorite all-time highlights I ever watched, when I get ready for football games, I watch legends, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, whatever. But 2 years ago, when I was getting ready for football games, I was watching Harold Perkins freshman highlights, because this dude was hunting quarterbacks like none other. Mm-hmm. Harold Perkins, if he gets back to that level of play, I agree with you. They get in the man. He spies the quarterback, and he takes care of Marcel Reed, absolutely. But unfortunately, I think, Perkins, he's played a lot of ball. I know he's still in college. He's still technically a young guy on the grand scheme of athletic life. But to me, I think he's kind of lost a step since he's been there. And I think Marcel Reed gets it done again. I think Marcel Reed's going to have a lot of confidence coming into this game. I was thinking LSU all day, Steele. I texted you. I was like, we're going to be on the same page. We don't talk about a whole lot, but we talked about that. I said, we're going to be on the same page. But as this game gets closer and closer and closer, this is another chance for Texas A&M to prove themselves before next week when they get beat by Missouri Tigers. But this week, looking at this week, I think Marcel Reed gets it done. I think the defense is playing well. The offense for LSU has shown me no signs that they're going to be able to turn things around. So give me the Aggies.
Okay, let me talk to you here, bud. I am scared about LSU's offense, because Texas A&M, they've showed the ability to pressure the QB. They did it last week against Arkansas, but he was able to get out the pocket and run. Nussmeier can't do that. So he's got the offensive line. They got to get it together. They got to get the run game going. They just got to be better all around. But you can add this on the defensive game plan of the week clip if you want. Another way to slow down Marcel Reed. If you know anything about stopping RPOs, just making the QB a little hesitant on handing the ball off, you chop up the front and you do a shit ton of gap exchanges. I think if they can do that and just have that little bit of doubt, do I give it? Do I take it? I think if they add that in too, that'll be big and just slowing down his process of the game. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, let's say in an RPO, run pass option, you're gonna read that DN. If he comes upfield, you give it. If he goes down, then you pull it, you pass it. If you just have the DN just going upfield sometimes, crashing down, and if he crashes down, pop out a linebacker for the QB. If you just mix that up, that's just going to create that little doubt in him where he's a little slower.
When at USC, we would do that a lot. We'd tell that DNs to crash, and either a safety rolling down or a linebacker would have to be responsible for that pull. So you're definitely going to see some of that going on. So add
that to the fucking game plan of the week right there.
I will 100%. This was a beautiful segment, Steele. I like this new little segment. Unfortunately, we're on opposing sides for the game, but overall, we agree.
It's gonna be a good one.
We agree with what it takes to win. Yeah, it is. That because when it was at Texas A&M night game last year, that place at Texas, the stadium was like rocking, and now it's at LSU. You know, LSU is going to bring it. So that scares me for Texas A&M, but I think they're a legit team. All right, Steele. Now it's time for our pick of the weeks.
Okay.
Would you like me to go first, or would you like to go first?
You got it.
Okay.
Don't pick my game again, man. Don't pick my game.
I love BYU. I love Bear Bachmeier. True freshman. You don't see that much. Wearing number 47. He's doing his thing. I love their coach, Kalani. I'm not even going to announce the second name. I'll mess it up. Love the head coach. Love the culture they got over there. But I've been on a certain player all season long that has really stood out to me, and that's quarterback Rocco Becht. So my pick of the week is Iowa State at home, getting it done over BYU.
Before that Cincinnati game, they were right up there, like as possible Big 12 championship team, but they've kind of just gotten lost in the wind.
Yeah.
A bunch of teams leapfrogging. That's okay. That could. Where is it?
It's at Iowa State.
Okay, that's
come off a big emotional win in the Holy War. That feels like a whole season right there. One game can feel like a season. Relax just a little bit. You get a hungry 2-loss team at home, and you come out there a little bit flat. True freshman's going to make some mistakes. He's bound to make some mistakes at some point. He hasn't made too many of them, but he's bound to make a couple.
Okay, I like that pick.
All right, what's your pick?
All right. I think so. I want to preface this. This team right here has been a thorn in every big-time SEC team's side for the past 5 years or so.
Oh, God.
And that is Kentucky.
Okay.
I have Kentucky beating the Tennessee Vols this week in Lexington.
All right.
You saw it last week. They played Texas close. If you're a Georgia fan, you know how much Kentucky has scared you over the years. Last year, you only beat them by 1. During their championship run, I think both times they almost got beat because I remember watching that film as we were preparing for Georgia. Yeah. But this Kentucky team, I barely watched them play. But just given the fact that Tennessee always has these really close shootout games, I think Kentucky in Lexington is going to be able to find a way to pull this one out. Tennessee's defense just hasn't played well all year. I feel like this is a game where their offense has some hiccups. Joey Aguilar has a couple picks, maybe some turnovers or whatever, and I think Kentucky gets it done. They redeem themselves after a very heartbreaking Texas loss last week, and they pull off the upset.
Okay, I like that. Speaking of Kentucky playing teams close, did you see the safety, Michael Taft, his post-game press conference?
Yeah.
About how
it was him and then their linebacker, dude. I guess the reporters were just kind of trying to bash the offense, and luckily those guys just class acts the way they responded.
Oh yeah, no. So basically, Taft was like, "Man, we won the game. I'm tired of this. Ask Georgia about how Kentucky can be." So I agree. I like Kentucky. They played teams close. Shout out Sam Green, defensive lineman there. This would be the week I think they get.
Is Jansen Dunn still there?
Yeah, Jansen Dunn's there. JD still there. Shout out. We got the boys there, man. We got all the boys.
I love Jansen. I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, he's a good dude. They got some good dudes over there in Lexington. I'm hoping they can get over that hump and get a win.